Welcome to Project Me TV. I'm Tiffany Carter. Today we are going to get personal into my story and my past. You see, I believe in my journey of healing that I can then help heal others. So it's important to share all this with you on how I went from having literally like no self-worth, no self-esteem, down in the dumps, to being someone today where I feel really good in my skin. I have high self-worth. I feel good just being me and just being myself. That is very, very far apart, worlds apart from where I used to be. You see, I grew up in an abusive household. I was sexually abused from the age of 11 all the way through 21. And I know that sounds really shocking to people, but that is what it is. That's what it was. And as a result of being sexually abused, I was also bullied at school. So I was getting it from everywhere. I didn't have anyone to go to. School counselors were like, I don't know how they are today, but they weren't there for me. I had no brothers or sisters. I didn't really have anywhere to turn. So I internalized all of it. I really thought my self-worth was tied to whatever I could do for people, literally, meaning like I had to do whatever for you in all ways, shapes, and forms. That's how my self-worth was defined, that I wasn't good enough just being me. So my point in sharing that part of my story isn't to like be shocking, but to let you know like where I came from and where I'm at today and how I got there. Because if I'm able to do that and be sitting here today, speaking to you very comfortably, I know that you can do it because I came from having like nothing. I felt like a fraud walking around. I knew that in like society and in order to like, get hired at a job or in order to have like any friends or a boyfriend, I had to like fake some kind of confidence. So people on the outside weren't necessarily aware that I really felt like this because I had like a good front, right? But it doesn't matter that I had the front, it didn't feel good. It wasn't authentic, it didn't feel good. I walked around, I knew that I had to like sit up like really straight and speak a certain way, and that's how confident people spoke. But it didn't feel good. I felt like a fraud, and I kind of was. I just didn't know how to get there. So let me share with you how I got there. And of course, this took a lot of time and hard work, but at least you can get started and you have a chance to be able to like set yourself free, and then amazing opportunities, people, and things will come in your life, I promise. Because what you embody and who you are is who you attract. So in that like low vibe state, we attract low vibe people and situations. So I attracted like low vibe jobs, bosses, boyfriends, friends, situations, you name it. Versus now I attract amazing like high vibe business opportunities, people, friends, wonderful things in my life, because that's where I'm coming from. So it really does all start with us. So here's what I'm going to share with you today, what I did. And that process is really assessing how I speak to myself. So I want you to really take a look at over the next week or so, what is it you say to yourself all the time? It's helpful to write this down, even if you have to like use the notes app in your phone. I said horrible things to myself. You're a piece of shit. You're no good. You're fat. No one likes you. No one cares. Who do you think you are? I could go on and on and on. I spoke to myself so harshly, like I would never speak to anyone that way. And so I want you to constantly be putting these things like in your notes app in your phone, writing them down in a journal, because we're not always aware of how many things or the crazy things we say to ourselves because we've said them for so long that they just kind of get like filtered back in there. So I want you to keep a running list for at least a week. Then you can see like, oh my God, this is how I'm talking to myself. Like I knew it wasn't great, but I didn't know it was this bad. Then those common ones, we all have at least like the top 5 that we constantly say. One of mine is like, no one cares, I'm not good enough. Those were some of my common ones, or like little forms of that I repeated over and over again. So you'll see what your common ones are. And so take your top 5 that you most commonly say to yourself. And then I want you on one side of the paper to have those written down. And on the other side, I want you to replace that with something that sounds a hell of a lot better. And I'll help you out. Like, what would you say if you have a child, right? If your child said this to you or came home from school and said this, or if you don't have a child, maybe it's, a friend's child or a neighborhood kid or someone you really cared about. You guys were having a conversation and they said like, I'm a piece of shit. What would you say back, right? And I want you to write, what would you say back on the other side? And I want you to do that for all of your top 5. So now you know the thought that's like caring and healthy and loving of what you need to be saying to yourself. You're gonna have to keep this list like front and center. If you don't want anyone to see it, I understand. Put it in your journal, put it in your phone, take a picture of it, whatever you have to do. And you're gonna need to keep repeating and repeating and repeating these thoughts because you've been so programmed to saying all these negative thoughts so long, it just takes time and repetition to replace them. So when you catch yourself saying something like, I'm a piece of shit, then you stop yourself and you go, no, I'm an amazing person. Like, I'm an incredible person and people are lucky to have me in their life. And it takes discipline, right? Because it's mental time, it's mental effort, but I'm telling you, it pays off much faster than you would ever imagine. But it does take discipline and work, just like everything else, right? Just like it does if you're at the gym, with your diet, with your career, with learning a new sport. It does take discipline, but this discipline will take you so far in your life, I promise. It's worth doing this exercise for yourself and also for everyone around you. What I also noticed is when my own self-talk got so much better, I treated people around me better because I was also in such a higher vibe space. So that would be the first place that I would want you guys to start in, is one, having that awareness, like I said, writing that down, doing that 7 days of an assessment, and then writing down the counter thought to that on what you would say to a child or what you would say to a loved one, and then going through the process of every time you catch yourself. If you have to start out by going to the list because you don't remember what you wrote, that's fine. In a very short period of time, it'll come to you automatically and you'll be able to remember it. This is really the gift that keeps giving, right? So over time, right? It's not like I'm far from perfect, guys. New ones come up. So I'll have a new one coming up. Like the other day, I was like, oh my God, you're looking like you're kind of getting a little fat. That's what I said to myself. I'm eating a lot of food this time of year, having extra cocktails. Well, that's not a really nice thing to say to myself. And I know that and I recognize that. And so what I did is I replaced it. You're beautiful just as you are, and your size doesn't determine your worth. And it came to me right away. It came to me right away and I caught it right away because of all this work that I've been doing and making it a pattern. So that's what I'm saying is there's going to be new ones that come up. It's just life. We're human beings. We're not going to always be happy about every part of ourselves. Society feeds us all sorts of crazy messages, from social media to we overhear someone in a parking lot. And we have to have an ability to be able to reprogram and filter those out in order to keep your self-worth intact. This is your best asset, is your own self-worth. I would take my self-worth as it is today over any of my net worth ever. But luckily, you guys, we get to have both. I hope sharing some of my personal journey and my personal healing process helped you guys today. I would love to hear more. Feel free to comment. You can DM me on Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany, message me at Facebook at Project Me with Tiffany. And if you're struggling, you have a story, you want to work things out with me, I would love to help you. Like I said, me healing and my healing is designed in order to help you guys heal. Thanks for listening.